Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the W. Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me, Stephen.
Coach, team's 3-1, has won 3 straight games, a 2-0 week last week, a win at Wagner, and a win at home against Fairfield. Give me your overall thoughts on the week that was in Pride Women's Lacrosse.
Yeah, 2 really great wins. I thought that, Wagner and Fairfield both played really tough against us. We had a slow start against Wagner, but I thought that they had a really good game plan, and we started to pick it up in the second half. And Alyssa Perrell really put the offense on her back in the second half for us, which was really great to see. And I thought that defensively we really played lockdown in the second half against them. And against Fairfield, I thought that our draw unit, Darcy, Sabrina, and Alexa Matera did a really, really great job. We won the draws 24-4, which was really impressive. Thought that Shannon Boyle had a really great game, defensively for us, and I thought that offensively we had some different scores. Grace Langella really stepped up at different points, but it was exciting to get 2 wins.
You talked about the Wagner game. It was an interesting game. Tied at the half, and then your team just kind of a switch went on in the second half. Both, not just Alyssa, but like Jess Smith really changed her game in that second half. What did you see from particularly those 2 players that changed that game so much?
Yeah, I thought that just Wagner came out with a lot of energy, a lot of passion. We just were not matching that in the first half, and we just needed to weather that storm, get in the locker room, regroup ourselves, get back to the basics, get back to our game plan, and some players just kind of stepped up, snapped out of it, and we had a really good second half for us.
We've talked extensively about what Alyssa Perrell has meant to this program. 200 career goals is really a monumental achievement, and to do it in a game where you set career highs in points and goals. What transpired in that second half to allow her to just flourish there for 30 minutes?
Yeah, I think that she really started to dodge with some confidence, dodge with some authority, and went hard to the cage, was really finishing her shots and shooting the ball early. And I think that she started to read the defense very well, but I think that's also her teammates being able to move off ball, giving her those opportunities in those clear lanes to be able to also score.
And then the Fairfield game on Saturday, your team won 17-13. Got off to a real strong start, maybe a slow last 8 to 10 minutes, but you dominated the game for the most part, and you really got solid contributions out of a lot of people. Grace Langella, 5 goals, and during the week, Erin Demick's been really solid. What have you seen from the other players who maybe aren't always the Alyssa Perrellas in the scoring column? What have you seen from them last week?
Yeah, I think they're really starting to step up, especially when Alyssa's face guarded. They're starting to step up, take their opportunities, and play with confidence, which is really nice to see. And the harder that we can work out practice, the better off we're going to be.
And you talked about your draw unit, and defensively, Sabrina and Darcy have been really strong lately. Darcy, Defensive Player of the Week last week, and both of them combined for 18 draw controls last week. We knew they'd be a dangerous unit. Draw control as a draw control unit leaders. Is that kind of how you've seen it develop?
Yeah, they're really, really phenomenal on the draw. I think Amanda Johansson does a really great job with them, putting in some work and setting up the draw scenarios and the techniques that we're going to be using. And Sabrina, Alexa, and Darcy do a really great job at listening and trusting what we want and going out there and accomplishing it. So I think they're doing a really great job. They're really starting to come together as a unit, but we got to continue that, and we got to be consistent with the draws as we move forward into the month of March.
And Alyssa was named the CAA Player of the Week, and Darcy, as I just mentioned, was named Defensive Player of the Week. Great recognition for your program after a solid week. Your thoughts on the week that those 2 had? We just already talked about Alyssa, but Darcy as well.
Yeah, Darcy puts a lot of hard work in. She's a tremendous leader. She's always fighting really hard for our team. And I said it once before, she's kind of like, she was like that unsung hero, never really got a lot of recognition. But I think this year she is. She's put a lot of extra work in the off season in the draws, and has stepped up for us. And you can see that her hard work has paid off for her.
So your team's now 3-1, and it's almost perfectly built in break in your schedule till your next game at Johns Hopkins next Tuesday. Was this purposely done or just managing the schedule done?
Purposely done. I thought that we would, before we got into to the month of March, we would need a solid week for ourselves to focus on Hofstra, and I'm happy that it happened because there's a lot of areas that we need to improve upon after watching some game film. So we're just really excited to focus on Hofstra this week and to get our program better in the areas that we need to get better in as we move into a really tough schedule in March.
Yeah, you just talked about it. The schedule really takes a notch up, starting with the Johns Hopkins game, Maryland next week as well. What do you hope to gain next week out of your program as you head into this stretch where you name the school, they're on your schedule, and it's awesome for Hofstra women's lacrosse, and it's really special start of a special stretch for your team.
Yeah, I think for us, obviously you want to win. Every coach is going to say you want to win. So I think that's obviously a focus for us. But we also just have to work super hard. And we have to, the areas that we're focusing on this week at practice, we need to be able to perform well in those games next week.
Well, Coach, we wish you good luck next week. You don't have any more games this week, so we'll talk to you again at some point next week. Good luck at Johns Hopkins.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
And thank you for joining us on the W. Mason Coach Report with head women's lacrosse coach Shannon Smith.